Shut up and sit down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ken Frederick Podcast, episode 62, mid-season Nerd TV wrap-up. Wrap-up. Listen, thank you for listening. If you just stumbled across us on the interwebs, check us out at kfpodcast.com, KF Podcast on Facebook, Ken Fred Podcast on the Twitter, and at Ken Frederick Podcast on the Instagrams. We got Brock.
Hi.
Justin.
Yo.
Donald.
Hey.
People.
Oh.
We're here talking about nerd movies. Or TV shows.
Nerd movies. Nerd TV shows.
So,
because, ever since The Walking Dead started with their mid-season finale, that everybody else... Remember back in the day when it just used to be a show, went off the air?
Yeah.
There was never a trailer for what was coming up.
Nope.
It was just like, oh, there's no previews for next week?
Occasionally there would be a cliffhanger.
A little bit, but not a lot. Not mostly a lot. It would just be like, oh, there's no previews for next week? It's not on. It's Christmas. It'll be back in February at some point.
Yeah.
Now they do the mid-season. It's a thing now that we have to talk about.
Which is annoying. It just gets more buzz.
It gets buzzed that way. Walking Dead started it.
Yeah.
They were the originators of it with like their second season. They were like, this is our mid-season finale.
That's another reason why that show sucks.
I mean, they do it with everything. Even sitcoms are like, that's our mid-season finale. Cliffhangers and stuff. So we're going to talk about some... Ken doesn't watch a lot of these shows.
I don't watch any of these shows.
Our host, he's just here too. Our host is here to make fun of.
I'm just here to do the intro. The intro and the outro.
And then he's going to play. What are you playing on your phone?
Nothing. I shut it off.
You can look at it. It's fine. So the first one we're going to kick off with is me, Brock, and Justin all watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Ken, you've watched a little bit of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I checked out some stuff.
You actually watched the first episode this year, didn't you?
The first 2 or 3.
Because you saw the Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I saw the Ghost Rider stuff.
You actually thought it was... You actually thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it was bad.
Robbie Reese.
That show would be all right. I think I would try to watch it more often if Quake, what Daisy wasn't on.
You don't like her?
I hate that character.
Sky's the worst character. And it's not even the Quake character, because when I read in the comics, I liked her.
Yeah, Quake is cool.
Sky,
it's just her?
Yeah, that chick is Sky.
Like, oh, I don't want to be a part of this.
It's just all her bitching and moaning.
Yeah, she's always has a problem
Mm-hmm.
and has to be away, and she is kind of annoying.
She's the rebel. She's an activist, like, mindset person. So when she became an Inhuman, all of a sudden, now she's the Inhuman activist.
Right.
Yeah.
I like Mac the most on that show.
Yeah, I like him.
I think that guy's good.
Well, up until this season, because I was caught up with everything but this season, I liked Mac. I thought he was good.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good character. I always thought they were going to make him somebody, but I'm like, yeah, he's just Mac.
Maybe.
Make him Steel.
That's a different universe.
Different universe. But so this year they did Ghost Rider, and they got into the real mystic side of stuff. They had the Darkholme book, and it ended up being that his uncle, Robbie Reese's uncle, was the villain, and he was trying to gain all this power so he can make matter.
Yeah, I thought they were going to make him into Molecule Man.
Yeah, because he was doing stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like creating matter from nothing and all that.
Yeah, but I don't know what if he was a reference to anybody in particular.
I couldn't find any reference to that name.
Do you think he's really going to be gone, or do you think he's going to be able to use his power?
Well, they went through that hole.
He'll be back at some point.
They made like a portal to another thing, and Robbie took him into because Ghost Rider's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know if he's I'm sure he'll be back at some point.
I heard they're talking about doing a spinoff with him.
I like him as Ghost Rider.
I do too. I thought he was a great character.
I like him.
There was an episode where Mac became Ghost Rider.
It was cool though because he looked like the Spirit of Vengeance. He didn't have the metallic face.
Yeah, he didn't have
Robbie
the
Reyes
helmet
had.
mask.
Yeah,
he had the real Spirit of Vengeance head and everything, and he had that shotgun with the axe.
and he rode a motorcycle.
I thought he was going to shoot hellfire out of it for a minute, but
That would have been pretty cool.
yeah, I like when they did the different dimensions, and they were Coulson and them were trapped in this sideways dimension.
It felt like a Stranger Things ripoff.
It did.
The underneath.
It did a little bit, yeah, because there was creatures and stuff and weirdness. There was darkness coming after them.
But they showed the same scenes twice where they added the characters in that were missing.
Yeah, through the eyes of them.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
just to get kind of caught up.
I saw that they're going to do a web series for Yo-Yo, which I don't know why
Yeah.
she needs her own web series.
That's another character I'm annoyed
She's
with.
not very interesting at all.
And they totally changed her power set in the last episode.
Yeah, because she used to snap back like a
Yeah.
yo-yo.
They did the obligatory Quicksilver scene.
Yeah.
She could only go as far as one heartbeat.
Yeah. she would snap back from her point of origin. Is what her what? Now she was just running around like Quicksilver.
Yeah, they did the whole moving the guns around.
Yeah, they did. They did the X-Men scene. Yeah, they moved a bullet so it hit something. They turned a fist and all that stuff.
It's totally Quicksilver.
Yeah, and everybody woke up and was,
and Coulson knew because all of a sudden the gun was in his hand, and as soon as the scene thing, he just pulled the trigger and he starts. It was pretty bad.
It was really bad. That one was. I'm not a big fan of her. I don't really care for her too much, but I like that they're going into this whole LMD stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the one dude made an LMD robot. What's the chick's name?
Ada,
and she assisted them with she was able to read the dark home and was able to
She built the portal to the dark dimension.
She built the portal.
I liked how because the dark home. I don't know if they talk about it in the comics, but I thought it was cool that it changed languages or changed the wording in the book based off of your native language.
Yeah.
Because the one guy was reading it in German and Well, Ada was reading it in binary, which I thought was kind of cool.
So that was good. And then she kidnaps May and replaces her with an LMD. So she's already. They're getting into this. She's going to be replacing everybody, and I don't know. It's going to be right. It's going to be like an Ultron kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think it'd be cool if they drop some Ultron reference in there.
I think she's going to become somebody else, like Jocasta or somebody like that.
Something, a name.
Yeah.
Didn't Coulson already mention when he was yelling at Fitz about it? He's like, "Don't you remember Ultron?"
Yeah, he did.
I just wish they wouldn't have gone bad with her already. I wish they would have wrote out the LMD.
Well, that's the Darkhold. That does that to you.
It messed her up.
Mm-hmm. Even though she wasn't a living being.
She was making a brain in that one thing. So she's like
she might have created life. She might have been able to get the ability to do that.
Maybe she gave herself
sentient life,
personality and stuff. Yeah. So it'll be good. It'll be interesting to see where they go with it. I one thing I do like their format that they do is they do these in each half of the season. They give them a title.
Yeah.
Like this was Ghost Rider. Mm-hmm. There was 8 episodes about it. Now we're going to LMD. Like last year they did Fallen Agent. And, I like that they do that. I like the way they group their stuff together. Ken, anything else?
Yep, it's a show. Check it out on ABC.
Next, which so far has been one of my favorites this year, is Gotham. You're not a fan of this show.
I'm not going to say it again.
You don't like a Batman show where Batman's not in it.
Exactly.
But Batman is in it. It's Bruce Wayne.
No, it's not Batman.
He's there.
He's starting to.
He's good.
His training is paying off.
I think he's really developing well into that persona. His acting is getting better.
And I like the kid that's playing him. The kid's doing a really good job with it.
Him and Catwoman are really good. All the characters are good. I think Edward Nygma is the best villain. He is so good. I wish he could play him in the movie. Because he is so sinister and intelligent the way they write him. You don't watch this at all, do you?
I saw the first season. That was it.
You weren't a fan of it?
I liked it, but I'm so far behind. I don't know.
If you get the chance to catch up with it, especially this season.
Well, they finally added season 2 on Netflix.
It's been really good. I mean, the development of the Riddler on there, I think, is worth the price.
He was annoying. He was annoying at first. I really did not like that character when they first brought him out. And the changeover with him now getting kind of this sinister.
Here's my only problem with this season. You know where I'm going to go.
I know where you're going with it.
So, the Riddler last year, after he killed people and all that, Penguin helped him inside Arkham to straighten himself out. Then they were in Arkham together. They become friends. So then when they get out, Penguin is the head of the crime family now, and he runs for mayor. So he's the mayor now. So he's the mayor, and he has the crime family and all that. And he pardons Nygma, and Nygma then joins him. He's his chief of staff because he likes how smart he is and all this stuff and everything. And when you're watching it, the first 4 or 5 episodes, they're real close, or a team, and are doing all this stuff together. And he exposes people that are bad in Penguin's organization to this elaborate thing. And he's wow, I'm so impressed by you and all this. And the one scene he's I really cherish our friendship. And Penguin hugs him, and I was they're not going like a gay thing here, are they? I'm no, I don't think so. And then the next episode, Penguin reveals that he's in love with the Riddler. They made Penguin gay on the show.
Huh. Interesting.
And he's obsessed with Nygma, and he falls in love with him. And then they turn him from being an evil person. He's a lovesick little puppy dog now.
Yeah, and I don't. I don't like the character arc, and it's weird. It's not that I don't like the character arc because they made him gay. I could care less. I don't like the character arc because they
unnecessary.
Well, it may be, but that's not what bugs me. What bugs me is he was a really good character. He was getting that sinister edge.
Yeah.
And he was becoming the head of the crime family.
And then they turn him into this lovesick little puppy dog.
Exactly. And I don't know if that's... And then
Midway gets a girlfriend, and then Penguin kills her because he's jealous of her and has her killed.
Jeez.
And, of course, like, he blames it on, like, some rival crime family and some other people, but then Riddler's way too smart, starts figuring it all out. And now it ends at the end that he's going to, like...
he's going to take down Penguin.
The thing I do like is they're real heavy in the Court of Owls. So that's like the ongoing thing. And the Mad Hatter has been fantastic, I think, this year.
It's a good character, but the guy playing him annoys the crap out of me.
But that's how he's supposed to be.
I know.
He is such a Jervis touch. He's so good as him.
I loved the scene when Gordon goes to see him at the end, and he starts rhyming to him, and he can't help but, like, rhyme exactly.
He can't, he's doing all, he has this stuff, he's, like, planting this disease and doing, he's been terrorizing for a while. And, like, Gordon's trying to get information out of him, and the Mad Hatter keeps talking in riddles. Jervis Tetch is talking in, like, all these riddles, like in rhymes.
Yeah.
So, like, he, like, can't get anything out of him, so Gordon starts rhyming, and he can't help but start spilling the things.
He spills his guts in rhyme back to him.
And
it was just a really good...
And he's like, an interview with your wife. And he's like, get it. He's like, guard. And he's yelling for the guard. And he keeps doing it to him. And he can't help it. It's a good scene. But he's been good. The Court of Owls is really cool because that was one of the best things that come out of New 52.
Yeah, I'm surprised they use that in this show.
Well, they're showing it.
It makes sense in the timeline.
But they've been around for this long. They know about all the crime families. They're all involved with, like, Falcone and the crime families. And, like, he's just digging into their information. I mean, it wouldn't make sense that Bruce finds out about him so young because he didn't find out about him until he's Batman.
Yeah.
But it is a kind of a cool thing. So, it's good. So moving on, the WB shows. Now we have 4 of them.
Yeah.
Supergirl.
CW.
Not, they used to be WB.
Yeah,
CW.
yeah.
Sorry. Supergirl on Monday, Flash on Tuesday, Arrow on Wednesday, Legends on Thursday. I think it's great. I wish they would get rid of all these other failed shows on the CW, except for Supernatural, and just have more.
Supernatural into the full.
Yeah, make it part of the universe.
Somebody said at one point a few seasons ago there was a storyline
Supernatural crossover.
Yeah.
That they were gonna mix the two since they were the only two shortest shows they had like that.
Yep.
But I mean, get rid of your other show that you like.
I haven't watched those in 2 seasons. I used to love Vampire Diaries.
And you used to like, what's the show you like this year? With the guy that you said that you would have sex with?
No Tomorrow got canceled. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was disappointed.
That guy that Justin admitted he had a man crush on.
I just love that he said that he's like, I used to love Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
I did. I liked that show. It was a great show.
Yeah.
But so these shows, how do you think these have been this year?
Arrow has been better.
Arrow's been much better.
I still like the Flash. Some of the stuff in there has been annoying, whiny. But I still like the Flash. Legends of Tomorrow has been good.
That's been good.
Supergirl's been great. Supergirl is probably my favorite.
Much improved.
Supergirl's probably my favorite of all 4.
Now that it's off of CBS,
yes,
and it's in the fray now, it's been much better. They to me, they have almost some of the best cast, like with Manhunter and Miss Martian and Mon-El and the Guardian and everybody else. They have and Superman's on there, who I thought was fantastic.
I
shit all over that guy.
I know.
Said that he was going to be horrible,
and he's good.
And I was so ready in that first episode, like, here we go with this guy. and then I'm like watching it. I'm like, yeah, he's Clark Kent. Like, yeah. I'm like, oh, but it's kind of good as Clark Kent. I really like this guy. Like, I really like this guy. He's a really good TV Superman.
He is. Just had a Penguin realization.
I did. Like, I have a man crush on him.
But he is the comic book Superman. He's not Henry Cavill, dark, brooding.
Yeah, it's not a movie Superman.
He's the Boy Scout, But
even his portrayal of Clark Kent is not overly stupid Boy Scout.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Like how Tom Welling used to kind of overdo it.
Yeah.
Like Kat Grant on there had the hots for him. Was like, what, Clark Kent's so hot. And she was like into him and stuff. And and he was just real cool. And I'm like, this guy's really good at Superman. I hope he gets I wouldn't even mind him getting his own show.
It would be cool. I don't know if
Supergirl and
they'll, I don't know if
Superman
they'll do
on
it,
Monday
though.
nights. What else do you have on that night? You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
We have Friday open.
You have Friday open.
I heard either the last half of this season or next year they're moving Legends of Tomorrow, I think, to Tuesday night.
Really?
So you're gonna have Flash and Legends on the same
I don't
night.
like that. I like them each their own night.
I know. Although being here on Thursday nights, I won't have to miss one every week now.
Well, I don't. I never watch them live anyway.
Oh, I watch them live. the only thing that bothered me about Supergirl this season so far,
Yeah.
what is the instantaneous cure of Martian Manhunter at the end of the season?
Yeah.
Like they did
That
the
was
blood,
kinda
they
weak,
did the
yeah.
blood transfusion with Miss
They
Martian
did White
because
Martians. He got infected by White Martian
Okay.
blood. And he
and
was changing.
he had changed. I mean,
Yeah.
he did the whole transformation, and that was how he beat. I can't remember who he beat.
I don't remember either. But just go ahead.
But anyway, he was completely transformed to a White Martian, and then Kara's adopted mother was there helping try to cure Mon-El because he had that weird disease.
And
That
she's
was
like, oh, by the way,
kryptonium.
we cured
Yeah,
John.
yeah. Oh, by the way, John's cured,
It's like plot
and he
device.
just walks in.
Yeah, he was just cured.
That was like, yeah, just plot device.
The thing I hate
Convenience.
is when he won't stay in the Martian Manhunter makeup and the effects for
I
that.
saw pictures of that. It looks great.
He looks great, and then you'll see him fly, and then he lands and instantly turns
And
back into
instantly.
the guy. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, everybody knows you're this. Just stay as that, you know. But they do good there. Flash, I'm tired of the speed villains. It's another season of speed villains.
I think that's all we're ever going to get on Flash.
I don't know. It's okay.
I'm curious about Savitar though. I want to know like
They're doing the
more.
Savitar speed god angle where he's like the god of speed, and he looks like Megatron. He's this
He
giant,
looks like Megatron.
robot-looking Megatron thing. He's huge. It's all CGI.
Didn't he look like Conan in the comics?
Yeah, Savitar in the comic didn't look anything like
Yeah,
Savitar
no.
there.
But he's cool. Like he's 100 times faster than Barry or any of the
Yeah.
other speedsters we've seen so far. He doesn't even run. He just teleports.
Okay.
Like he's just from one place to the next. And
And
he's
he
dragging.
can make things speed up.
Yeah.
He can touch things and make them go.
so he's way cooler.
Yeah, he has way cooler powers. What do you think about the new people on Arrow this year? Like his
Wild
new-
Dog.
Wild Dog's the best thing.
Wild Dog's actually not too bad. He's all
Yeah,
right.
I don't.
I like Ragman.
Ragman's. I like Ragman.
Ragman's on
And the thing with Ragman that annoys me on his shows, when they first showed him on there, he was like taking on like a whole police force are shooting at him, and his rags are blocking everything. He has all this power, but when like they go to fight somebody, they don't use him at all. I'm like,
Yeah.
why not Ragman go in there? Like he just took on the whole police force, and they're like, oh no, they can't use Ragman for this. And he sent Wild Dog in, and he gets his ass kicked
Yeah.
by the
Well,
bad
no,
guy.
he's always told not to go in, and he always. Oliver knows I never pay attention.
Yeah.
He must want me to go in.
The villain they're doing is Prometheus.
Okay, that's a cool one.
And you don't know who it is. It's going to be someone that knows him, obviously.
The thing
It's going to be his ex-wife or his ex-girlfriend. It's a chick.
No, it's a guy. You can tell it's huge.
the thing that's annoying me was Artemis's turn. That annoyed the
Yeah.
crap out of me.
It turned her, made her join him.
And
And then the season ender, they brought Laurel Lance back, which I don't understand how that happened because they killed her
yeah,
last season.
yeah, and now I had a theory that we talked about a long time ago. I think Prometheus is Tommy.
I think he's Tommy Merlin too. Yeah, I totally agree.
Because and now with them quote unquote bringing Laurel back, I think that almost proves it's going to end up being Tommy because now people coming back from the dead is a thing.
yeah,
So I think it's going to be Tommy.
and we had Flashpoint in the beginning of the year, and the effects of it have been through all 4 shows, except for Supergirl. They don't talk about it in there, but the Flashpoint stuff has affected everybody. Like in each and every show, there's been like the one guy,
Some
someone,
little thing.
something had a son, now he had a daughter, now he has a son.
Okay.
Like everything's changed, and they were all kind of annoyed with Barry for doing it.
But like again, the annoyance there, Barry fessed up to it. And I mean, Cisco was so mad at him for so long and like
Well, I mean, it
kind
did
of
end up with his brother dying
I kind of got that, but
because his brother was alive in a regular timeline, and when he changed it and came back, his brother's killed in a car accident. So when he finds out that like you change the timeline, now my brother's dead, you'd be kind of pissed.
Yeah, it's justifiable.
Justifiable. So let's talk about the crossover. What do you think about the big 4-night event?
it wasn't a 4-night event.
Because
It was a
Supergirl was nothing.
It was a 2.5 night event.
It was a 3-night event. Well, Arrow
Not even
really
3.
had nothing.
Arrow really didn't have much to do with it. It was like I said, it was like a 2.5 night event.
Can I just say my favorite part of this is, so in Flash they have Star Labs. where like most of their stuff happens.
Yeah.
So when they go to have this crossover, because the aliens are coming, the aliens they fought were the Dominators.
Yep.
And you remember the Dominators from like.
Yeah.
So the Dominators show up and they have this big deal. They're going to fight them. So they all gather at the Star Labs like research base, and it's the Hall of Justice. It looks exactly like the Hall of Justice.
The thing that confused me was, why is it berries? Because he's like, well, I've got this place that I don't use.
Because I think it was all left to bury, all that stuff.
By who?
By what's his name? Harry before.
Okay, all right.
Of course, Harry gave Barry all the stuff that needs to be done.
But they go to this place. It looks exactly like the Hall of Justice, but it says like Star Labs. It even has the pond in like the front. It's like built on a cliffside. And I was like, oh my God, it's the Hall of Justice.
It was pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. And then they go to Earth 3 and they get Supergirl, which I wish they would just put them all in the same universe. But I thought she was pretty good with them.
They made, again, at the end of the crossover event, they made more crossovers very easy because Cisco developed some kind of tech.
That she can just go right through.
Yeah, that they can talk to her when they need help. She can call out for them for help. And if she needs to, she can just create her own portal and jump through.
Yeah, they made plot convenience there to make it easier.
Makes sense.
But she mixed well with them. Yeah, I really liked it. In this episode, at the end, they had like Oliver, Flash, and Supergirl, and it's really like their trinity.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, because he's so Batman, and so when they brought him together, they had like the three of them standing there, and they were like doing the talking, making the decisions, and they were all like, it was really like setting up that TV universe as like, here's our trinity now. We have the three of them.
I liked Oliver and Barry's kind of like bonding, and Oliver really backing Barry and saying, hey, this is on you, man. You're the leader.
Oliver is just Batman. He's so Batman. He gets more and more Batman every season.
Well, because I wondered, because you talked about when we did the Rebirth show that they're doing this new victim syndicate in the Batman. And I wondered if this Prometheus thing was going to be tied, if they were going to try and steal a little bit of that because
he's saying he's someone that was victimized by
because the quote unquote or the way they tied it back to try and find out who Prometheus was in the last episode was that it was one of the first people that Oliver took out from his father's list.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I instantly remembered you talking about the victim syndicate. I'm like, is this going to be?
It's going to be Tommy Merlin.
Yeah, and I think so.
It is. But I like the crossover. I think they should do it every year.
But they need to tie in all four shows.
Well, I think they will more now.
Yeah, I mean the Supergirl one. The reason they said they did it.
Because I think it's hard to start it because her show's first, and it starts off like it would have been better if her show was.
And they already had the other link established between the other shows.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think they'll make it better. I don't know. I like them. I enjoy them. I enjoy them all the time. I'm looking forward to the second half of the season. All four of them are entertaining.
Aren't you glad I told you to give Supergirl a shot now?
Well, aren't you glad that they brought it into the right universe?
Well, yeah.
Instead of living over in No Man's
CBS.
Land, where it was over before it was dumb.
Do you think they'll ever bring iZombie into that universe?
I don't know. Maybe.
That was another show that I really liked. And then
Constantine's in that universe.
It just got, I don't know, I got out of it. I quit DVRing it and I quit watching it.
All right, so let's get into the big show.
Well,
The Walking Dead. What do you have to say about it, Ken? Did you watch the first episode?
I watched the first episode. It was shit. Like it was an hour and a half fluff piece. Like it was just nothing. Like that's why I that episode made me not care. And clearly, it's done. Like other people's followed the lead because no one cares. Like it's dropping in ratings.
It is dropping in ratings. It's dropping every week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, did you notice this season how many hour and a half shows there are? Who wants to watch an hour and a half show?
Yeah. Followed by an hour-long show talking about the hour.
I mean, I don't know why you have to do an hour and a half show. Like
because it was just have one advertiser buy out the airtime,
pretty much,
so that they can do 1 hour of that show.
You know why?
Because
Because that show spends so much time with nonsense. Like case in point, the second episode or whatever it was, second or third episode, where you have Michonne, who like wakes up in the morning. They show you her getting dressed, getting her sword, walking to a field, taking out the gun,
sitting there doing nothing,
a thing, walking, and you're like, what is the point of all this? And it was just to show you that she had shot a deer and had a gun that she was hiding. That could have been like a 2-second like conversation.
The people in the Walking Dead show love to tug their own dick and say how great cinematography they have. So that's why we did it.
That it's like and that's why every episode's an hour and a half. Because there's so much of this nonsense.
Yeah,
like even
filler.
Even the last episode, I enjoyed the last episode. It was a better one.
A lot of filler.
So much filler. It could have been 10 minutes. 10 minutes. You could have had that show.
And then they have the whole episode filler with Tara finding that weird all-women's colony.
Oh, God. So Tara and Dr. Dre.
Rising?
Tara, the lesbian character.
Okay.
She goes on a mission with Dr. Dre or Keith, whatever his name is. Heath or
Keith.
Keith, I think.
This was like, so it started off with the first issue, the first episode, and then it went to the Kingdom where they showed you everything was going on with them. And then it went to like what was going on with Maggie and where she was at the hilltop. And then by the time they got to the fourth one, they were off on this like scavenging mission, and they come across this season so far has been the comic to the T. I mean, they did the Carl Negan episode. Yeah. They did all that stuff. Everything has been pretty spot on. This was the only one that kind of went a little different.
Well, they were following up because at the end of...
Did you just interrupt me?
You paused. You gave me an in. At the end of the episode...
Give you more than just that.
At the end of the episode where they went to the satellite station and they took out what they thought were all the saviors. Last year, Tara and Heath go off on this mission. It's supposed to be like a 3-week-long thing. So it was the show circling back and being like, oh, well, this is what happened to them.
It was a group of women that are living by an ocean, which I don't know what ocean they're by. They're in Virginia, so Virginia Beach, I guess, or somewhere near there or something like that. It's women that all their men were killed by Negan. They took all the men tried to fight, and all the boys, and Negan killed all the men. And these women escaped. He was going to like keep them for something, and they escaped, and they live by the beach, and they have a shit ton of guns. And that's the only reason they introduced that is to get guns back.
Yep.
Because Rick gave up all their. Now, do you remember in the comic? Did Rick have to give Negan all their guns?
Yeah.
And then where did they end up getting guns from?
Ezekiel.
Well, this one, these girls have like a whole armory full of weapons. Yeah. And then they try to kill Tara because
they communicate with dog training clickers.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
They don't want to get involved because they don't want anything to happen. So they tried to kill her. She escaped, but they're going to obviously get involved and help out.
Oh yeah. With them.
Did they cut off one boob like Zenians did in Why the Last Man?
Yeah, they cut off one boob.
No, it's so they can be better archers.
Yeah,
it's a real thing.
No, they didn't do that. Okay. They just have guns and they're all.
But you're right because Tara swore that the title of the episode was Swear. Yeah. And when she left, she swore that she wouldn't reveal them.
Because one of them helped her escape.
Yeah.
The others that were trying to kill her.
And so what's going to happen is after the events of the mid-season finale, Tara is once they start and they realize they don't have enough guns because the band's back together. They're trying to get people to go fight. The
band back together. Rick and Daryl had an emotional moment.
They hugged it out.
So upset of you to watch. And because Daryl makes the face like, I screwed up. I got Glenn killed. And he starts crying, and Rick's like hugging him. And all I was thinking during it was, Daryl looks dirty as shit.
Take a shower,
Take a shower first before we have a bro hug moment. Because you look nastier than hell. And they have like a hug, and they do their little power moment and all that. They get the band. Everybody gives nods. Sasha and Rosita are nodding. Everybody's nodding. It's very like, yay, we're going to go fight.
How long do you think it's going to be before Maggie is leading the hilltop?
Like 2 episodes in.
Yeah. You think so?
Yeah. I mean,
now, do you think they're going to kill Gregory, or are they just going to out him?
They'll do what they did in the book where she like takes over, and then he's in the background tries to kill her and all that till they finally get rid of him where he's plotting against her.
Okay.
But Gregory's a big idiot.
Oh, yeah.
Was he that incompetent in the book?
Yeah, okay. He was an idiot. And Maggie he tried to poison Maggie, and she like figured it out and kicks his ass, and Jesus whips his ass. And I like that Jesus character. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah. I like that Jesus.
I like that Jesus. And Carl, he did the eyeball scene with him, with Negan and all that.
It didn't work as well with him being older, I don't think.
Yeah, it didn't have the same feel because in the book, when he gets sad, he's like still a little kid. Carl,
Carl's like 17 now.
And it wasn't, because that's one of my favorite Negan moments is the bat joke.
Yeah.
Because reading that, remember how shocked we were when he was like, this is my bat. Because in the thing, he said, he didn't say, did you touch her? He said, did you eat it? Did you eat it like a lady? And he says the whole thing about the bat and all that crap. And it's like, and then he goes, get the F out of here. Bats don't have, he does the whole thing. And it was, when you read it, you were like, oh my God, what did Kirkman write here? And when they did it on the show, it was.
Did you stroke?
Yeah. Did you stroke it? It was kind of pointless. They tried to get it in there, but
Yeah, there's only so much you can do on.
I did like when Daryl killed Fat Mike, though.
Fat Joey.
Fat Joey, that's right.
Fat Joey was my favorite savior.
Fat Joey was like the nicest savior, and Daryl beats the shit out of him and kills him. Takes Rick's gun back.
Just let me go, man. I'm just trying to get by, just like you. It's not about just getting by.
Fat Joey.
Because Daryl got mad and killed him. Who do you think the feet were that were like watching them?
I read something that it's the Whisperers.
It's the Alpha from the Whisperers, probably.
Already watching them? You think they're already going there?
Quick.
I don't. I quit reading the book at like the Negan War. So
I feel like they're going to wrap this up in this next half pretty quick. That this is going to be the all.
Well, they showed
war.
the beginning of like the beginning montage where they did the season preview.
Yeah.
They showed Negan in that cell that Morgan built.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they're already in.
Oh yeah. So it's gonna be all wrapped up before the end of the season.
That's so fucking dumb. It's so. That was so long of a storyline in the book, and it meant so much. And then afterwards, they spent all that time like Negan was the last bad guy that they ever encountered. It was like 5 years later.
Well, then maybe they'll do that. Maybe next year they'll skip into the future. You know what I mean? And Negan's like they did. Maybe he'll be in the cell, and it's years later.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. How long can you drag Negan out? Because it was, like you said, it was boring in the comics till the war started.
Yeah.
The war went on for a little while.
Yeah, the war went on for a long time.
Yeah. I don't know.
I just get so annoyed with the show.
This show really does bother you.
Yeah.
It really gets under your skin. It doesn't bother me like it bothers you.
I guess it's something that I've liked and enjoyed so long, and they just piss and shit all over it.
You were an early adapter.
I like.
Yeah, you were into the comic early on. I get annoyed with the boring stuff in the episode. Like when me and Saber watch it together, like on Sundays, when they start all that, I'll sit there and go, "Oh God!" And she'll go like, "Why do you watch a show?" But then when the good stuff happens, I get like, "Oh, that was cool," like that, I get really annoyed. Like I like the way it ended, that they got the group back together and all that. But before that, I get so annoyed with Negan talks so much.
He does,
and it's like, oh.
I did like that they killed what's his name,
Spencer.
I did like that they killed
They
him.
did that.
I've hated that character since the beginning.
That was pretty much the same. They kept
where he
tries to do it. And he's like, Rick's out there busting his ass for me, and you're in here acting like a little bitch, and you don't
you
have
ain't got any guts. Let's
fight them open. And then he kills that fat girl.
Yeah. Well, no, he doesn't. His right hand woman does.
Yeah, he says that would have been my choice for someone to kill.
Yeah.
It's like she actually had a purpose.
I like when he offered to have sex with her.
That was comical.
And she was like all appalled by it.
Smacks him.
He's like, I'm not gonna lie, that maybe even more attracted to you.
Yeah.
Something like that.
He's not bad. He's very limited. He's very limited.
He's limited. If this was an HBO show, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is a great Negan, though.
Yeah, if this was HBO, he could cut loose and really be him.
Yeah.
But it's hard just saying shit over and over.
Yeah.
You stupid shit.
And if you notice, like, all the other characters are doing it now, too.
Yeah.
It was like, they would only swear. Like, that show didn't have a lot of swearing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, now Negan shows up, and now everybody, shit. It's like that episode of South Park when they first did it.
Do you think it'll get to a point where it completely passes the book altogether? Because the book's going to run.
If they keep going at this pace, it's going to
catch. They get into the Whisper stuff and all that.
Yeah, they'll be caught up.
I don't know. I think it's getting to the point where it needs to end. You need to have something.
It never will, though.
Have they talked about like how many seasons they want to do yet?
It's picked up already for next year, and Negan signed on for next year. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is there for next year.
Look how long they dragged out the governor, though.
They did.
If that's any indication, like I think Negan's a more popular character. We're probably going to have a lot of Negan stuff.
This one. I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see. See what happens. Well, anyway, any other shows you watch or did you want to talk about? How was Lucifer?
I really like that show. I don't think anybody else here. You might like it.
I watched a couple of it and it was all right. I
like the interaction between Lucifer and I can't remember.
Because that's based off DC Comics Vertigo line, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But I just kind of like the concept that he was just sick of being the devil, so he moved to LA and opened up a nightclub. Like, I don't know. I like the character. Yeah.
I like last year on Supernatural when that guy who plays the devil on there.
Yeah.
When he was, they go in that cage. You haven't seen this yet.
I've seen season 11.
Okay. And when they're talking to him and he's like, and Sam says to him, "Why are you so evil?" Like, and he's like, "Well, what do you want me to do, Sam? Move to LA and become like a detective?"
I remember that now.
And I was like, that's a great line. Supernatural's so good at picking on every popular, staying level with anything that's going on, you know. Which we didn't talk about that because we don't really talk about that on this show, but it's been pretty good this year too.
How long has that show been on?
It's the 12th season. And It just keeps going.
If I can get caught up, we could do a special episode on Supernatural.
And every year when you think, like, I don't know what else they can do, like, they just did something else this year and it's all working, you know. And I like it because the cast is just so dedicated to it. Yeah. Where they're like, they realize we got like a good thing here. If you're gonna have us back, we're coming back. Like, we don't think we can go on and be movie stars and be something bigger than we are. And I don't want to get typecast or like typecast us. We'll be Sam and Dean for our whole lives if you let us, you know. And so far, it keeps going.
And that's the problem with those guys right now. Those two are so recognizable as Sam and Dean. You put them in anything else, unless they have a mask or serious makeup on, you're going to be like, why are Sam and Dean in this movie?
Keep going. The show works. It's a great show. Every episode is entertaining.
What without spoiling anything, what is kind of going on this season? Because I mean, they ended it with God and his sister going off on their own at the end of last year.
Did you see how it ended last year when they brought their mother back?
Okay.
So
I know that
God's gift to him or whatever, they resurrected their mother. So this is the first. Which again, it works great because in the early days of Supernatural, it used to have their dad was with them, who was and it was like a good dynamic. Then he died. This is the first time you see them with their mother, and the way those characters are now, how rough they are, and their mother. The last she saw them, they were little boys.
I have watched a few episodes because she ends up leaving them.
Yeah, you're further along than. Did you watch this season? Are you? How many episodes are you?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back
for a little bit. Yeah, but it's a good dynamic. You know, the way they are and the way they act, and then they have their mother like, you know, learning like what thing out of time stuff and all that. It's good. It's a good season. They have a lot of cool stuff going on, and then they had Lucifer in the body of Rick Springfield.
Yeah,
which is great.
Like the actual
Rick Springfield.
He plays a guy named Vince Visanti or whatever,
That's
and
great.
he's like this old rocker. And he's like down on his luck, and his wife died, and he's all upset. And Lucifer like is looking for a body, so he's currently in him. And I think it's hilarious. It's great. It's good. So there you go.
Mid-season wrap up.
Ken, you talk too much on this podcast.
So
take us out.
All right. I want to say thanks for listening, everyone. Please like, share, subscribe, invite.
Later.
Later.